Ano, ipapasign mo?
Hindi po, bigay ko po tayo.
Bakit mo gusto ibigay sa kanya?
Ito mo, kasi sir, that's my
What if one of the most unforgettable moments in tennis this year had nothing to do with a championship point, a trophy ceremony, or a record-breaking victory, but with a single fan who refused to leave for 6 exhausting hours, holding on to one dream that nobody believed would ever come true? At first, almost nobody noticed. The crowd kept moving. Security reportedly assumed the fan would eventually give up. Social media users laughed at the situation, convinced it would end in disappointment. But as the hours passed, whispers began spreading through the venue. Phones came out. Cameras started rolling. Something unusual was unfolding, and by the time Eala finally walked into view, nobody was prepared for what happened next. Witnesses couldn't stop talking. Clips exploded across social media within minutes. Fans claimed the emotion on Alex's face was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. Some insisted she was fighting back tears. Others believed there was a deeply personal reason behind her reaction that hadn't yet been revealed. Suddenly, the internet wasn't debating a tennis match. It was trying to uncover the story behind one simple tennis racket and the stranger who refused to give up. Then came the flood of speculation. Anonymous insiders began posting cryptic messages. Fan accounts claimed there was unseen footage. Others insisted security conversations had been recorded moments before the encounter. Every new post seemed to raise even more questions than answers, and before long, the story had transformed into one of the most talked about moments in the tennis world. Was this simply an incredible act of loyalty from a devoted supporter? Or was there another layer to the story that nobody had seen coming? As millions rushed to watch every available clip frame by frame, one tiny detail in Eala's reaction sent the internet into complete overdrive. And once fans noticed it, the entire conversation changed overnight. Because according to those who claim they were standing only a few feet away, what happened immediately after she accepted that racket is the part almost nobody has seen. And it may completely change how everyone remembers this emotional encounter. The atmosphere around the player exit had already begun to thin. Families were gathering their belongings, volunteers were folding barriers, and security staff were quietly preparing for another routine departure. To almost everyone there, the day seemed over, except for one fan. For hour after hour, that fan remained in exactly the same area, gripping a carefully wrapped tennis racket with both hands. People walked by and asked if everything was all right. Some smiled politely before moving on. Others quietly admitted they would have given up long ago. But the answer never changed. "I'm waiting for Alex." As the afternoon stretched into evening, more spectators began noticing the determination. A few offered water. Others started recording short videos, fascinated that someone would dedicate so much time for what seemed like an impossible chance meeting. Those clips slowly found their way online. At first, they barely attracted attention. Then one post suddenly exploded. Thousands became tens of thousands. Tens of thousands became hundreds of thousands. Comments poured in faster than anyone could read them. "She has to see this. Someone tell Alex. This is unbelievable. If she walks past without knowing, that's heartbreaking." Within minutes, fan pages across multiple platforms were resharing the videos. People who had never attended the event suddenly felt emotionally invested in a stranger they had never met. The internet had found its newest story. Every refresh brought another wave of reactions. Some admired the fans' patience. Others questioned whether waiting so long was realistic. Still others insisted that this moment represented everything beautiful about sports. The hope that athletes can inspire complete strangers in extraordinary ways. Meanwhile, inside the venue, no one outside Eala's team knew exactly when she would leave. The uncertainty only made the tension stronger. Every time a door opened, dozens of heads turned. Every movement attracted cameras. Every shadow sparked another rumor. Then, the door opened once again. Someone wearing team apparel stepped outside. The crowd leaned forward. False alarm. Another 10 minutes passed. The fan never moved. By now, even security personnel had started recognizing the familiar face holding the wrapped racket. One guard reportedly smiled before quietly saying, "Still here." The fans simply nodded. No frustración, no anger, just hope. That simple exchange, captured briefly by another spectator, quickly became one of the most shared clips of the evening. Comments flooded underneath. Please let this have a happy ending. I've never rooted for a stranger this much. This feels like something out of a movie. As the online conversation intensified, tennis communities around the world began discussing the growing story. Supporters from different countries joined the conversation. Many shared their own memories of waiting for athletes after matches. Some described moments that lasted only seconds but stayed with them for years. Others reflected on how meaningful, respectful interactions between players and fans can be, even when they are brief. By now, anticipation had become contagious. Nobody wanted to miss the ending. Then, at last, the doors opened again. This time, the atmosphere instantly changed. Heads turned. Phones rose into the air almost simultaneously. A wave of whispers swept through the crowd. That's Alex. For one brief moment, everything seemed to slow down. Eala stepped forward, smiling as she acknowledged supporters gathered near the exit. She greeted people, accepted kind words, and continued moving through the line. Then something unexpected happened. Someone pointed toward the fan who had been waiting all afternoon. Several people began speaking at once. You've got to see this. 6 hours. That fan's been here the whole time. Alex appeared to pause. She looked across the gathering. Her eyes settled on the familiar wrapped package. Then she walked over. The crowd suddenly became almost silent. The fan carefully unwrapped the tennis racket. Hands shaking. The voice is barely steady. Instead of rushing the moment, Alex stopped and listened. The fan explained that the racket wasn't expensive or rare. Its value came from something much simpler. It represented years of following her journey, believing in her progress, and wanting to say thank you for inspiring perseverance both on and off the court. For a heartbeat, nobody spoke. According to those nearby, Alex's expression softened immediately. She smiled warmly, appearing genuinely touched by the gesture. Several spectators later said the sincerity of the exchange, not any grand spectacle, was what made it memorable. The fan handed over the racket. Alex accepted it with visible appreciation before thanking the supporter. Around them, phones continued recording. Nobody wanted to interrupt. Nobody wanted to miss a second. Within minutes, short videos of the interaction spread rapidly online. One clip focused on the fan's relieved smile. Another captured the surrounding crowd applauding. A third highlighted Alex thanking supporters before continuing on her way. The internet responded instantly. Some viewers called it one of the most wholesome moments they'd seen in tennis all season. Others praised both the patience of the fan and the kindness shown during the exchange. Reaction videos began appearing almost immediately. Sports creators replayed the footage. Commentators debated why the moment resonated so strongly. Not because of a trophy, not because of a ranking, but because genuine human moments often travel farther than any highlight reel. Soon, hashtags connected to Eala began trending in several tennis communities. Fans shared stories about athletes who had inspired them. Parents showed the clips to their children. Young players said the interaction reminded them why they fell in love with the sport in the first place. Yet as the heartwarming footage continued spreading, another mystery quietly emerged. Several viewers became convinced there was a brief off-camera conversation after the exchange, one that wasn't captured in the viral clips. Speculation quickly filled comment sections, with countless theories but no verified evidence about what might have been said. And just as everyone thought the story had reached its emotional conclusion, a brand new angle from someone standing only a few feet away surfaced online. The footage showed a detail almost no one had noticed the first time, and once fans spotted it, the discussion exploded all over again. The new camera angle spread across tennis communities almost instantly. Unlike the first viral clips, this one captured the reaction from a different perspective. As Eala accepted the gifted racket, the crowd around her seemed to realize that they were witnessing something unexpectedly heartfelt. Conversations stopped. Phones rose higher. Even people who hadn't known the backstory suddenly understood why emotions were running so high. Within minutes, the clip was circulating everywhere. Comments poured in by the thousands. "I wasn't expecting to get emotional today. This is why sports matter." That fans' patience paid off. Across social media, creators began stitching together the different angles, building a timeline of what had happened. One video showed the fan waiting hours near the exit. Another showed spectators encouraging the fan not to give up. The final clip captured the long-awaited meeting itself, creating a story that viewers couldn't stop sharing. Sports pages highlighted the moment. Tennis accounts reposted it. Even people who admitted they didn't normally follow tennis said the interaction felt genuine. As the discussion grew, many fans reflected on Eala's growing popularity. They pointed out that moments like these don't happen because of one match alone. They happen when supporters feel connected to an athlete's journey over months and years. Soon, the conversation shifted from the gift itself to the meaning behind it. The racket wasn't simply sports equipment. To many viewers, it represented gratitude, patience, and the powerful connection that can exist between athletes and the people who support them. Reaction videos continued to appear throughout the day. Former players praised respectful fan interactions. Commentators noted how quickly authentic moments can resonate online. Fans shared their own stories of meeting their favorite athletes, proving that sometimes a few seconds of kindness can create memories that last a lifetime. By the end of the day, what began as one fan quietly waiting had transformed into one of the most talked about feel-good tennis moments across social media. But the biggest surprise wasn't the gift. It wasn't the wait. It wasn't even the viral videos. It was how one simple act reminded millions that behind every ranking, every tournament, and every headline is a human connection that statistics can never measure. And judging by the overwhelming reaction online, this won't be the last time tennis fans remember the day patience, appreciation, and kindness stole the spotlight. As the videos continued spreading, the moment seemed to take on a life of its own. What started as a quiet act of patience had become a story shared by tennis fans around the world. Every repost introduced new viewers to the encounter. Every comment added another personal story from someone who remembered meeting an athlete who changed their day with a few simple words or a brief interaction. The conversation gradually moved beyond the racket itself. People began talking about loyalty, about believing in an athlete before they become a household name, about how fans often invest years of emotion into following a player's journey through victories, setbacks, injuries, and breakthroughs. For many supporters, Eala's rise has been about more than tennis. It's been about watching determination, resilience, and steady progress unfold on one of the sport's biggest stages. That is why this moment resonated. Not because it involved controversy, not because it involved scandal, but because it reminded people that the bond between athletes and fans can sometimes be more memorable than the match itself. In an era dominated by endless headlines and viral debates, authentic interactions still have the power to stop people in their tracks. A few seconds of gratitude can inspire millions of views, not because they're sensational, but because they're real. Whether you first saw the clip online or followed the entire story as it unfolded, one thing became clear. Moments like these are impossible to script. They happen naturally, and that's exactly why they stay with us. As Eala continued preparing for the next chapter of her career, many fans hoped this wouldn't be the last memorable encounter. After all, every tournament brings new opportunities, new supporters, and new stories waiting to unfold. And perhaps somewhere at the next event, another fan will arrive with a dream, wondering if they'll get just one moment with the player who inspired them to pick up a racket in the first place. If that happens, the internet will almost certainly be watching. If you enjoyed this story and want more in-depth tennis documentaries, emotional player journeys, tournament breakdowns, and the biggest moments from the world of tennis, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if you had the chance to meet your favorite tennis player after waiting for hours? And which player should we cover next? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.